I've never met a seller who didn't have the nicest, best house on the street. Still to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They give you the
Yeah.
tour. They walk you through, like they're trying to sell it to you.
The hard sell to me. I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
I'm going to be on your side. You
Yeah,
don't have to do me the hard sell.
And that market is doing what right now?
What?
There's a lot of people that aren't happy. I'm meeting a whole lot of folks right now that I'm the least popular guy in the room when I go in because they don't like the prices. They're holding on to previous prices. The market's slow. It's not terrible. It is terrible in a couple of spots, actually. I know your audience is going to love where the market's terrible. So there is some condos we're
What are you
seeing
trying to say?
Well, I read the comments. Come on. There is some spots where you're, pre-2018 prices in, investor style condos, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Like resale
No,
2018 prices,
pre-construction.
resale 2025 prices in some areas are the same.
Yeah. In the cookie
Wow.
cutter stuff.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know if we've got the resale 2018 prices anywhere yet. That would just be pre-con, Daryl. Some of the
Pre-con, yeah,
pre-con
for
prices
sure.
now.
But
Yeah.
only if you bought in spots where everything was like there's 500 of these available right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's like one building here sometimes, one project.
Yeah.
So there's a
So
lot
if
of
you
that
have a building,
downtown.
let's say there's 10 units per floor, and 4 of them are 2 beds, and the other ones there's 2 studios, and then the rest are 1 beds.
Mm.
Every single floor you have that exact same floor plan. So
Mhm.
you're in competition with 15 units in your building that have your exact same floor plan. So,
It's more
how
like
high are you,
40.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's how high are you, which direction are you facing is your only differentiating factor. And that's
Well, and
still
how
4 other people
desperate.
the same as you.
Yeah, how
I don't
desperate
see
is the
desperate.
seller?
I
You
don't
don't
see
see desperate sellers
I don't
here?
see desperate at all. I see a bunch of people not wanting to come to terms with where value is.
Not desperate yet.
Welcome to real estate, guys. It's like regular, I've never met a seller who didn't have the nicest, best house on the street. Still to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They give you the
Yeah.
tour. They walk you through, like they're trying to sell it to you.
The hard sell to me. I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
I'm going to be on your side. You
Yeah,
don't have to do me the hard sell, right? I'm not the buyer. Don't give me the
We
hard
had to wait
sell.
3 months for this tile to come in,
Yeah,
This
yeah.
you can't get this tile at the store when you just go there. We went there, we saw that tile, it's crap.
I had a
Right? We
guy.
ordered this.
This guy was years ago, but he had owned this house since 1968, and he paid $28,000 for it in 1968. And he was walking me through, and he's like, when I bought this house, I paid the extra $300 and got the electrical upgrade. This isn't
Yeah.
like a 40 amp service, this is like a 100 amp service down here.
How much? Jesus.
And I was
You know
like,
how much
well,
that is now? Yeah.
that's really gonna make the difference here, guys. So
Yeah. That's amazing.
Mhm.
So, Daryl's question though was like desperate sellers. So, like no power sales, people losing their homes. Like, is
we
that
have to
like, we're
put this
dealing
to
with that
rest.
like
We have to
crazy
put this
right now?
power to sale thing to rest because
Okay.
you guys in Ontario do this crazy stupid thing. I was doing research on it. I asked ChatGPT what a power of sale is.
Okay. What do
and
you guys
then
call it? Forbearance, foreclosure? What do you call it?
foreclosure,
Okay.
compared it to the foreclosure, and ChatGPT was so wrong about the foreclosure process in BC. It was
Yeah.
crazy. There's all these rumors like the bank keeps any access. That's not true.
Yeah,
Access
yeah.
all goes back. I think the main difference has been you guys seem to get approval to sell the property that doesn't need to be reapproved by the judge upon the offer. Our offer needs to be accepted by the judge, right?
Okay.
So like they have to approve the price and show that
So
the marketing
yeah,
was
I'll
done.
tell you.
So
I'll
it goes
tell you
back to
the
court
process.
twice.
Yeah. So once you get you put up a notice of sale and basically say like, hey, you're behind this much time. We are gonna, basically take over the property and we're gonna apply to the courts to be able to get it done. So then they make an application where they get a statement of claim. You got 21 days to fight it, to say, hey, I can pay or whatever it is. Once the statement of claim isn't contested, or if it is contested and the owner loses and the lender wins, then they get a writ of possession. And once the writ of possession signed, they can go to the enforcement office and have the sheriff remove you from the property, and then they can just sell the property with that writ of possession, and they can just make sure they get the most amount of money for it. No approval from the courts, like you said, and then whatever's left over, the seller gets. But first, if it's a first mortgage, they have to also notify the second mortgagee.
So it sounds like the process is very much the same, except
Yeah.
for sometimes the owner stays in the house
Yeah.
here, and then we only get, I guess, an approval to market the property, like the lawyer or the banker, I guess, or whoever gets approval to market the property. And then when we get the offer,
Yeah.
it has to be subject to court approval again. So we
So-
got to go back to court another time.
When the writ of possession is given and the seller leaves the property, they can still have another real estate agent list the property for sale. And the bank can also be selling the property as well, because the seller has the right to redeem themselves before
Yeah.
the title is transferred. And so sometimes you'll see two listings. You'll see John trying
But
to
we
sell it
don't
with
have
his,
that.
with his
We're granted,
cousin.
what do they call it? We're granted conduct of sale,
Okay.
but then it needs approved after. So, so that's the process, which I'm sure, again, if they didn't like the jiu-jitsu talk, they're timed out on that too. Are we
got to
seeing them?
educate them?
Are we seeing them? Probably no, not really. I mean, I've always done 2 or 3 or 4 a year. It's, I've got a good amount of mortgage brokers. They're used as a tool, right? Mortgage brokers through, say, Scotiabank or through CIBC or whoever, they use it as a tool to give out to realtors to try and get reciprocal business going back and forth. So we get a few of those a year. I had a doozy, if you want to hear a story. But are they situations where people, bought at the peak and can't pay their mortgage or whatever? No, they're not. They're not those at all.
Are you looking for the best merch store on the planet? Well, we got the shit for you. Coming in at low prices where we barely make any money off of whatsoever, you can get the greatest real estate merchandise on this platform. Just look at this very flamboyant man putting on this great stuff. He looks great, he's dancing great, and boy does he look sexy in that merchandise. I tell you, buy this for anybody, you buy this for yourself. You will be not only repping the greatest Canadian real estate podcast in this world, but you will also be looking hella good doing it.